In 2020, U.S. politics was very scary. A fresh-faced, fun-loving podcaster called Judas Falling thought it would be a hoot to record a podcast episode all about Satan in the White House. He then released that episode in time for Halloween. Spooky. 4 years later, U.S. politics is even scarier. The face isn't as fresh, but the fun is still being loved just as hard. Judas has taken that original episode, added dozens of new jokes, and turned it into 4 new episodes. Please enjoy our
Spooky Month Special.
It's politics, bitches.
Welcome to Satan is My Superhero.
So cool.
In this episode, we will be looking at where Satan intersects with the lives of US presidents from George Washington to Chester A. Arthur.
Wow, Chester A. Arthur. You sure got to scraping the bottom of the barrel fast in the series.
When it comes to religion, George Washington set the tone for many US presidents to come.
Was that tone orange?
Publicly, he was an avid churchgoer, but according to his own records, privately, not so much.
It's stupid and boring. I mean, I totally respect the beliefs you pretend to believe in.
A slave who had escaped his employment, we'll call it, Oney judge claimed Sundays were the day for wine and card games in the Washington household.
George, they've elected you president.
Great. Now I don't have to go to church anymore.
That's not what being president means.
Well, now I'm confused. What was the point of this whole exercise?
Liberty and justice for all. Except for the slaves and the women and the people who don't own land.
Can you see where I'm confused?
I can. I heard it while I was saying it.
The honest cherry tree murderer was born and raised Church of England, but has been accused of being a Deist.
Is a deist someone who doesn't like nighttime?
A Deist believes in a higher power, but one that might not be an interventionist.
Yahweh only intervenes if you're gay. And even then it's not directly. He calls on some bigot to harass you. I mean, based on all the evidence I can see, that's what's going on.
A Deist might not be interested in the teachings of prophets or so-called messiahs and prefer a more direct path to their creator.
Why would our omnipotent creator, God of the entire universe, use some douchey grifter as a communication conduit to the rest of us? It's ridiculous. Satan.
Some Deists even ignore Jesus and anyone who talks about him altogether. It has been well noted Washington spoke of God many times, but only a couple of known mentions of the illegitimate son Yahweh fathered with a virgin.
Hey, George, you keep saying God, but not Jesus?
Well, according to your completely not made up and retrofitted after all the books were written belief, Jesus is God. So, when I say God, I am saying Jesus.
Yeah, but you should say Jesus.
Why?
Because... Hang on, let me catch my breath here. Oh, boy, is this what thinking is always like? Oh, boy. Oh, okay, I get it now, right.
Yeah, it's more like an exhaler.
I get it. This is what I didn't get what the joke was. I was waiting for the joke. Okay.
Also not helping George's credibility on the Christian front was the fact that when he did go to church, it was noted by multiple observers that he would leave early and miss communion. Exactly the kind of thing a Deist might do.
George, it's been noticed you always leave church early, if you come at all.
Well, you see, it's stupid and boring. Quite frankly, when I'm not a busy general fighting a continent-wide war of revolution or a president ruling a fragile new country, I'm a busy landed white man running an estate with 300 slaves. It's not easy keeping an eye on all those slaves, you know. I'll say it. They don't want to be there, and that can be problematic.
In a letter to his local slave dealer, Washington wrote,
"If they be good workmen, they may be from Asia, Africa, or Europe. They may be Mohammedans, Jews, or Christians of any sect, or they may be atheists.
I think we can assume George was an equal opportunities owner and probably prepared to defend the First Amendment rights of his property.
First Amendment is the best amendment. That's why we put it, they put it first.
Washington belonged to
The Freemasons.
We have an episode about the Freemasons called Revolutionary Satanic Freemasons.
Gratuitous back catalogue plug.
Many of the founding fathers and the first handful of presidents were Masons. A few US presidents after that period have been Freemasons, and conspiracy theories regarding this connection abound.
Spoiler alert!
In that episode, Revolutionary Satanic Freemasons, we found the Freemasons were, sadly, not satanic.
Boring.
John Adams was the first US president to actually live in the White House, and he famously had a dog called Satan.
Slightly less boring.
While not being a sign of Satanism, it does justify the title of this series of episodes, and that's why I mention it.
Satan, sit. Sit, Satan, sit. What's a good boy, Satan? Good boy. Now get daddy's slippers.
Thomas Jefferson was accused of being an atheist, or at the very least a deist, like Washington.
Jesus is a bit too Jewy for me.
He did not help his cause by producing his own scrapbook version of the Bible.
Problematic.
He cut and pasted passages from the New Testament. Now, kiddies, when I say cut and paste, I mean he literally used scissors in the RL and cut paragraphs out of the Bible. Then he used actual paste. Who knew? Paste is a real thing.
That's right, middle-aged white ladies. Thomas Jefferson invented scrapbooking. And racism.
Interestingly, Jefferson's more craft and arts Bible omitted any references to Jesus having supernatural powers.
I don't like magicians. They're also too Jewy.
The president of Yale once said if the immoral atheist Jefferson were elected, all the virgins in Connecticut would be molested. Like, was that a threat? Was he going to go out and molest them all himself?
That is how I read it.
In a letter to John Page, Jefferson complained Satan had drilled a hole in his roof right above where he laid his watch at night. The rain had dripped directly on it while he slept.
Dear Farking John, you'll farking never farking believe what farking thing happened to my farking pocket farking watch.
He sounds quite upset.
I wasn't even there.
James Madison was another deist, and let's call it heavy contributor to the Bill of Rights, which of course features that all-important First Amendment, giving Catholics, Mormons and Satanists the right to exist in the land of the free and home of the brave.
Just as long as you're rich and white, or a Supreme Court justice.
In 1858, Abraham Lincoln gave his acceptance speech, also known as the House Divided Speech. It features the Bible quote,
A house divided against itself cannot stand.
You can see how a line like this can easily be applied to antebellum America. In Mark, the rest of the line goes,
And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself, and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end.
Whether he intended to or not, Lincoln quietly linked his political enemies to Satan in a very nice way.
Mr. President, are you saying Southerners are evil?
Do I think the people who want to own people so they can subjugate, humiliate, and denigrate those people are evil? Let me think about that one and get back to you.
No need. I heard it while you were saying it.
Interesting side note, despite Abraham Lincoln being the one history will remember as a vampire hunter after that biopic, it's Andrew Johnson who actually crossed paths with a real-life vampire. Well, kind of. A sailor known as James Brown, no relation, murdered 2 shipmates on a fishing vessel and was accused of drinking their blood. He was sentenced to death, but Johnson commuted the sentence to life imprisonment.
Ouch, that's a really long time for a vampire.
President James Garfield was murdered by Charles Julius Guiteau in 1881. Guiteau would later claim a divine voice had told him to kill the president.
Hey, Julius, do you know what would be really funny?
Jesus, I
Are you smoking bongs and prank-calling primates again?
Guiteau did admit that he considered the voice might be the devil, but eventually decided it must be Yahweh because it was telling him to shoot an unarmed man in the back with a high-caliber pistol.
Oh, that is totally out of Yahweh's playbook.
And just one last point on Guiteau. Earlier in his life, Guiteau had joined a sex cult where no one would have sex with him.
Say what you like about John Wilkes Booth, at least he could get laid.
Now, according to Revelation, the Antichrist will rule for 42 months.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
After the filthy murder of Garfield, his vice president, the unremarkable Chester A. Arthur, became U.S. leader for 42 months.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
But once again, the world didn't end, no matter how many times Christians tell us it's about to.
I was lying.
And that's why Satan is my superhero. Thank you so much for listening. Rate, review, subscribe, all that podcast stuff. But most of all, please give us money.
Visit SatanisMySuperhero.com.
If you sign up to our Patreon at any Circle of Hell, you will gain access to the satanic sci-fi audio novel Chaos Machine. It's Dune meets Planet of the Apes meets Paradise Lost. Here's a little bit of it right now.
The one they will not name whispers deep inside Pilot. Once again, you will fail. Pilot signals Navigator and Collector. This is the moment. Collector silently gestures back. What's happening? Pilot signals, protect the hybrid. What? Collector begins to signal back. Pilot ignores him as he winks at Navigator and drops into freefall. Chaos Machine by Judas Falling.
Get some.
It was a dark night in the city, the kind that makes you question your choices. But then I stumbled upon something, a sound, deep and haunting, like a secret whispered in a back alley. They called it Dental and Flannum. No, I've heard a lot of noises in this town, but this was different. A duo with a name that echoes in the shadows, where the melodies are as thick as a smoke in a seedy jazz club. You don't just listen to Dental and Flannum, you experience them. They play like they've seen the vile underbelly of the city, like they've walked those rain-soaked streets at night, chasing ghosts and dreams. They've got rhythm, they've got grit, they've got the kind of soul that gets under your skin, the kind that doesn't let go. So if you're tired of the same old tunes, it's time you pay Dental and Flannum a visit. They'll take you on a journey, no questions asked, no witnesses, just you and the music. The only crime would be missing out. Go to dentalandflannum.bandcamp.com.